Now this jug, it could be good. Looks to be intact. Wow. It's whole. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm in Moorhead, Minnesota. This lot behind me was once home to Pioneer resident Charles Whitcomb. He was a florist and a gardener. He lived here in a big brick structure with an attached greenhouse and showed up on an 1885 city directory. I've got permission to excavate the grounds in search of artifacts, so we'll take a walk around and see what's going on. The house standing here now is actually second generation. It was built sometime in the 1930s, but stands roughly where the original structure was. We've got a fairly wide open back lot, so if there's something back there, we should be able to locate it. The back of the original house stood roughly where the back of the garage is now. As I mentioned, it's a fairly open back lot. There's that cement pad, but there was actually a carriage shed there originally. If you look close, you'll see some yellow markers. In that area, I pushed a probe rod through the ground, hit a loss of compaction, what I believe could be coal ash and glass. That's a good indicator of an early site. We'll get it opened up. I'm down almost 3 feet, and this incredible piece just came out. It's a chamber pot lid, some kind of English transferware pattern, possibly a mosque on it. This could date back to the 1880s. Just down here, looks like they have our first bottle. Get into some kind of a layer, you'll see the soil changing color, hitting some ashes. Looks like a toiletry. Yeah, a toiletry bottle of some sort. It's got a tooled top. Seems to date before 1900. And a ketchup bottle, tooled top. Yeah, put this around turn of the century. And a ornate piece of china. It's hand painted, some really nice colors. I was clearing some dirt out. Saw this bottle. This is very old. That's a Philadelphia oval style. That could be 1870s, probably 80s or 90s though. My guess would be 1880s. Fortunately, there's no embossing on it. I'm getting all kinds of different layers down here. Ashes, a bit of lime. Based on that and the chamber pot fragments, I'm fairly certain we're digging in an old outhouse pit. All kinds of stuff. I was throwing down those things back in the day. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see the seeds. And an old putty knife. These haven't changed much over the years. I guess this one has a wooden handle. They're usually plastic now. That's kind of cool. Use layer down there. Not sure how deep this pit goes though. There's a broken tumbler, could be lead blown. It's got some great age, incredibly thin glass. You can see how it easily broke. While clearing down the bench I was sitting on, uncovered these lamp chimneys. So this has somewhat of a fluted top here. Those ridges indicate 1880s or 90s manufacture. Definitely in a good early pit. We have here, this could be a soap dish or a lid to something. I can't say for sure. I don't see any manufacturing company stamps on it. Plenty of roots I've been working through. It's been kind of brutal. Some more lamp pieces, broken liquor flask, and maybe a broken shoe fly. Let's see, there's an intact one. So yeah, it's a liquor flask from the 1880s or 90s. Likely held whiskey or brandy. Broken one. Look at that. Oh, that is very, very cool. That's a old clay pipe. They called these penny pipes. Could be purchased for a penny. Folks would smoke tobacco out of them, and I find a lot of these broken every once in a while. I find an intact one. The stem is actually broken. It would have been probably about that long. Like another bottle, maybe another flask. This is a big one. Too bad it didn't have any writing on it. That might be a quart size. These were sometimes sold at saloons. Sometimes the saloon keepers would order in kegs, barrels of whiskey, and then sometimes blend them and get their own taste, bottle them and sell them. Another lamp chimney, similar style to that other one, smaller one, same era though. I mentioned the guy who lived here was a florist. Well, here's a flower pot. Now this isn't a solid confirmation, this is his pit, but it seems to be the right era. I will find these in all kinds of residential settings, these flower pots. What amazes me is that this style hasn't changed much over the last, well, even couple hundred years. I was finding flower pots out in Maine, same style you'd see sold today at a hardware store. There's the rim of it. Might have some kind of a cap layer. Broken windows. I'll have to cut through this cap layer. Well, this seems to be the end of the pit, which isn't surprising because it's not very wide. Looks like a little saucer from like a dollhouse tea set. Some kind of semi-porcelain, maybe ironstone china. Yeah, that's hard-packed clay. Got a Another piece here. That's kind of cool. That little inkwell, it's intact. It's got a ground lip. It's got to be from the 1880s or 1890s. Other than that, we're in hard-packed clay. This pit's done. Here's the haul. I concluded this was an outhouse pit used by the residents during the 1880s and 1890s. It was a small pit. We didn't find much in it, which is usually expected. Got some liquor flasks, a ketchup bottle, some prescriptions, lamp chimneys, broken flower pot, some ironstone china, a chamber pot lid, some kind of preserve bottle, that ink, and that dollhouse saucer. There you have it. Look at this thing filled back in. We got it cleaned up. There's no sod, so we just threw the topsoil back and stamped it down. Just over here, off the corner of the garage, you'll see I have some markers in the ground. This would have been just off the back of the original house. I pushed a 7.5 foot rod into it and felt what I believe was coal ash all the way down. I think it could be an old cistern or a well. Those commonly had trash thrown down them. We'll get it opened up. Well, I found a brick lining. We're definitely in either a well or a cistern. We're hitting some ashes. This kind of red-orange color that usually indicates something from the 1930s, but this gray color is usually a bit earlier. Got what maybe our first whole piece here. I'm finding fragments. My hopes aren't high on this because we're so far up, but it's definitely a clue. Oh, that's not too bad actually. Some kind of machine-made corktop chemical bottle. Could have held like hydrogen peroxide or something. This probably dates to the 1920s. Could indicate when this was filled in. I may have some kind of liquor jug or advertising piece. And we're gonna do a solid ash layer. Looks like a machine-made Listerine bottle. I've dug a lot of these over the years. There it is. Yeah, it's the Lambert Pharmaceutical Company Listerine. 1910s, maybe World War I era. Some nice gray ash. It's promising. Whoa, that is cool. It's a syrup jug of some sort. No advertising on it. It's got to be post 1900. Looks like a zinc glaze with an Albany slip glaze on top. I was clearing this down and saw this bottle. It looks like there's another piece here as well. Loosening the ground up. That's a very old light bulb. This looks like it's got to be 1910 or 15. Look at that. Edison Mazda. So that is Thomas Alva Edison. This is a very early one. I'd say no later than 1920, probably closer to 1910 or 15. And some kind of a extract or medicine bottle. Oh, what do we have here? Foley and Company, Chicago, USA. So there's Chicago, Foley and Company. It's a machine-made piece, probably in that 1920 range. Yeah, it drops right in, just solid ash. As I mentioned, I Sunk a 7.5-foot rod into this thing, so hopefully there's a few more goodies down here. That gray ash is very promising. I'll get it cleared out. We got it widened out. You can see the brickwork. This is definitely a well. We're down almost 4 feet, and I sunk a 7.5-foot rod down into here again. I think it's going to be deep. Looks like another bottle. Amber color, maybe a beer. Oh, it's maybe a big chemical. You know what? That's a jug. That's a liquor jug. Huh. Yeah, these wells, I've dug a good few of them over the years. I found a lot of bigger pieces in them, like crocks and liquor jugs. When they filled them in, they were just trying to fill the void, so it was a convenient dumping place for stuff like this. What's going on here? This is unusual. We might have 2 jugs back to back here. I don't know, this is strange. Yeah. Looks like a zinc glaze and an Albany slip glaze. They must just be back to back. I think it was my junior year of high school. I dug a well, a homestead well. The thing was 30 feet deep, and I got about 1 jug per foot out of it. Whoa. What's going on here? These two... So this amber jug is broken, and someone must have stuck the zinc glazed piece in it. That's wild. The bottoms were broken out, I guess. But yeah, these are liquor jugs. Those have really good age. Right around 1900, maybe even a little earlier. There's the bottom, any markings. Red Wing, Minnesota. Minnesota Stonework Company. Red Wing, Minnesota. I'm down roughly 5 feet. It's been fairly unremarkable as far as haven't found much. But here's a Foley and Company bottle from Chicago. You can see Foley and Company on that panel. Chicago, it's a patent medicine. These often held Foley's Honey and Tar. That's a machine-made piece. I put this at 1915 to 1920. And another one, machine made as well, at Foley and Company, Chicago. Looks like there's a partial label. Might have to dump some water on it. I don't want to damage it too much. There you can see remnants of the paper label. I'm down 8 feet. This thing keeps dropping. Finally got into a trash layer. It's been fairly sparse, but there's all kinds of stuff here. I pulled up some barrel hoops, and there was all kinds of stuff underneath. They're just sticking out here. Got a machine-made Crown Top beer bottle. This dates from 1910 to 1920. I actually see a label on it. Okay, it's the Heilemann Brewing Company. I find a lot of their embossed bottles as well. They're just all over. I'm sitting on them. They're all over in the sides here. It's got a machine-made quart liquor bottle, 1910 to 1920 as well. And a mason jar lid. Sometimes, yeah, these are from Boyd. This isn't embossed, but it very likely is from the Boyd Company. And there we go, a tooled top, patent medicine, Foley and Company, Chicago. So it's embossed on the sides, would have had a paper label on the front there. This is circa 1910. And another Foley. So this one's machine made. And I'll show the difference here between a machine made tooled top bottle. See, this one on the left has a seam line that goes around. This one, the seam line fades off into the neck. See, it looks a little more crude, this one on the right. And so we're right on that crossover era from tooled top to machine made, which was right around 1910. And another mason jar lid. This one might not be Boyd, it doesn't have the same style as one. Just a zinc metal, I believe, and then a porcelain lining. Okay, it's a patent. I thought it was a soda at first. Yeah, it's a Hoff's German liniment. Yeah, we're getting bottles with semi-intact labels down here, which is kind of cool. I think the ashes preserve them. So it's yeah, Hoff's German liniment, Anoka, Minnesota. Now, that name dates this bottle because it says German liniment. German was taken off, I believe, after World War I. And we got a machine-made prescription bottle. Owens, Illinois Glass Company mark on the bottom. Put this at about 1915. And a tooled top round style prescription that's still got some contents inside. Looks like a tooled top piece, so the age is getting a little better. Could have been an oil or a liniment of some sort. And another tooled top piece, Paris style. It says breed WBM Co. on the bottom, so that's the Western Bottle Manufacturing Company of Chicago, circa 1905. And we got a large piece down here. It looks like some kind of granite ware or enamel ware. Yeah, some kind of a cooking pot. It looks like it has some charred, kind of burned debris on the bottom. Yeah, granite ware. I tried digging down into this and couldn't even get a shovel through. There's so much stuff. Definitely into the trash layer. A couple more fruit jar lids for shoulder seal jars. This is wild. Look at all this stuff. We've got a Listerine bottle. It's the same product still sold today. All these barrel hoops that were thrown down here. More mason jar lids. It's got some groundwater in there. Looks like another Hoff's. I've got remnants of a paper label. I don't think there's any embossing. What do we have on it? Yeah, Anoka, Minnesota. So this one's a tooled top. As I mentioned, the age is getting a little better. Tooled top, Hoff's. And a machine-made Watkins bottle. Still has some product inside. Likely holds some kind of patent medicine. bunch of random stuff down here. Looks like a handle, maybe a gear, lever of some sort, just metal objects. Let's see here. And a machine-made liquor flask. No embossing. 1910 to 1920. Makes me wonder how deep this well goes. Another Foley and Company patent medicine from Chicago, tool top. And another Listerine with a partial label. I can hear all kinds of glass down here. And a prescription bottle. Private mold. It has private mold on bottom. I'm not sure I've found one of these before. It's circa 1910. Oh, this just drops right in where all the cans rusted through. There's almost a void. We're probably going to be very short on dirt, filling this thing back in. Wonder if I can pull this bucket out. It's an old bucket in the center here. It's kind of been in my way. Look at that. Big old pail with looks like some charred remains in it. Almost smells like tar. This has been down here a while. Must have just been thrown in as fill. This is getting interesting. We're finding such a variety of pieces down here. This is basically a documentation of an entire family's lifestyle. Looks like this could be some kind of a gopher trap. There's some chain hooked onto it. I'm amazed at all the metal items down here. This pit just drops in. All kinds of cans. I think I'm finding some tobacco tins. I mean, most of them are just destroyed from ground conditions. You have plenty of barrel hoops. Maybe a rusted paint can. Oh, that's kind of cool. Looks like a teapot of some sort, coffee pot. Maybe a enamelware, graniteware. Oh, that looked like an older beer bottle there. Wondering how far in age this drops. This thing, for all I know, it's, you know, could be 100 feet deep. Foley. Yeah, Foley and Company Chicago is definitely a popular product in the household. Here we go, ice skate. I believe this is the kind that would clip to a shoe. Looks like maybe a child size skate. Plenty of cans. With these ground conditions, it wouldn't surprise me if we got one with an intact label at some point. It's in remarkable condition though for being in the ground this long. I believe this is a brace and bit It's a hand crank drill. Still has the handle somewhat intact. This pit is so interesting to me. I can barely get my trowel through, there's so much stuff. I tried clearing it out and pieces were just falling out. We got a light bulb. I don't see any markings on it. It's like a Edison style though. What do we have here? Looks like a coffee pot. It's definitely a granite ware. There's not a lot of room to move around down here. Oh wow, okay. What color is this? It's like it's a Mrs. Stewart's bluing bottle from Minneapolis. Got some contents inside. Early machine made. And some kind of a tooled top, maybe all-over pickle bottle. It's got that shape, wide mouth, definitely some kind of preserve. Looks like the soil's changing color down here. Just different layers are digging through. I'll have to get this cleaned out. Well, stuff is tightly packed down here. In places too tight for the trowel. I'm going to dig this out with the shovel, scoop it into a bucket, and see what we can uncover. Towards the edges, it's soft. We've got that going for us. And we still have no idea where the bottom is. Into some solid coal ash layers here. I sunk a 7.5 foot rod down into this, so it's a deep one. Here's a 3 fluid ounce French gloss bottle. I believe, yeah, there it is, Whitmore. It's made by Whitmore of Boston. And we've got a prescription tool top. It's got a company name on bottom. Western Bottle Manufacturing Company of Chicago. I'm getting so far down here, I don't even know what we're gonna do for film. And I saw another one just sticking out of the side here. Seems they just kind of threw their bottles down into like almost pockets down here. Foley and Company, Chicago, USA. Another machine-made patent medicine. I thought there was another one, yeah. Okay, another Listerine. Yeah, made by the Lambert Pharmaceutical Company. Yeah, circa 1915. I need to get a bucket down here. Down roughly 12 feet. Still no end in sight. I'm not sure how far we're going to continue. We'll have to see if the age gets any better on this stuff. We're still in about 1910. It's a machine-made chemical bottle, possibly hydrogen peroxide. I think there's a beer bottle here. Mainly just digging through coal ash. Could have been from the household, or they could have had it hauled in to fill the void. Okay, it's still machine made. Okay, Rex beer. I think that's, yeah, from Duluth, Minnesota. That's kind of cool. Has Rex beer on the shoulder here, and then Duluth. Now, I found these every once in a while, but they're not super common. Remnants of a label on it, it's too far gone, full of groundwater. I must be down 15 feet, sunk the 7-foot rod down to about the 6-foot mark. We found water, hit the water table. Some bottles floated up. Here's another Hoff's German liniment. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's a tooled top. And what do we have here? Okay, a machine-made Watkins. I'm curious as to what's on the bottom. This isn't as early as I was hoping for, but there could have been things thrown down while the well was open that just stayed there. We've got a long ways to go. I'm managing to fight off the water table. It's going down pretty quick, actually. Saw this bottle float up. Looks like a machine-made, or no, a tool top extract. Maybe a patent medicine. Would have had a paper label, but it's long gone. And notice one sticking out of the side of the ashes here. Can at least wash these off down here. Another Foley and Company patent medicine from Chicago. That's circa 1915. I noticed the age isn't getting a lot better, but right towards the bottom it could get good. I'm not sure how far we're going to go, though. This is getting brutal, just being it's frozen. Frozen up top. I don't want too much to freeze to the tarps. Here's a little homeopathic pill vial, probably from that same era. We're down 15 feet. I don't even know if you can see the bottles now, but there's a 3-ounce, maybe oblong toilet style bottle, maybe a Paris, no glass company marks. I also got a small pill bottle, machine-made piece. And then I noticed something. There was a bigger bottle down here. This is very old. So Reed and Company. This is a tooled blob top export style beer. That's definitely the earliest piece we pulled up here so far. Yeah, it's not possible to bring the camera down here. We can't fit 2 people, plus the fog from the temperature change. There are some more pieces though, and a zinc glazed jug. Here's a liquor bottle, dates from 1910 to 20, machine made. I don't even know if it's worth showing up. You can see the design. It's a broken salt or pepper shaker, also machine made. And I've been digging around this for a while. It's just ashes in it. It's a graniteware cooking pot, mixing pot, something along those lines. Now this jug, it could be good. Looks to be intact. Wow. It's whole. Hard to tell if there's any advertising on it. It's covered in rust. Let's see here. I know there were saloons here that branded their jugs. I don't see any advertising on this one, but we'll have to get it cleaned up to say for sure. There it is. That's truly amazing. Survived down here all these years. Survived the fall at that. We've got to be nearing 20 feet. Still, items are showing up. I don't know what this is. It looks like it could have had like a roll on it or something. I couldn't tell you. This is an ice skate though, for sure. I usually get asked how I get out of these pits. Here we go. even know which direction I'm facing. That well is done. Here's the haul. I concluded this was a well abandoned by the residents around 1910. Threw a few pieces down, though it was mainly coal ash. Got a variety, old light bulb, chemical bottles, prescriptions, all kinds of metalware, enamelware, graniteware, some liquor jugs, stoneware pieces, prescription bottles, ink bottles, Listerine, bluing, some beers, food bottles, liquor bottles. Well, there you have it. Look at this filled back in. That spot cleaned up remarkably well, especially considering we had a 17-foot hole dug there. I continued gritting this lot out, and just over here, next to this cement pad, you'll see I have 4 yellow markers in the ground. I pushed a probe rod through and hit what I believe is coal ash and some glass. I think we've got another spot to dig. This could be interesting. Looks like almost carnival glass. Stuff loosened up with the last shovelful. You know, I like this. That is really, really cool. It's a liquor flask. Looks like it's from the 30s or 40s. It's definitely post-prohibition. Look at the iridescence on this thing. See that? Almost that opaling. It was made like that. What's it say here? Okay, golden wedding. I've never dug one of these before. There's all kinds of stuff down in here. And another. You know, sometimes these have date codes. Can't say for sure. Definitely 1930s or 40s though. Oh, there's a broken one. And another. What's this say here? 1 pint bourbon. That partial label. I'd be fine digging these all day. These are really good looking bottles. Might have another one. I hear maybe some embossing or design scratching here. Look at that. That is awesome. Definitely an unusual find. And another one. Yeah, that is the coolest design. And it's an old Quaker, possibly. Paul something. Sometimes these have tax stamps on it. You can figure out what date these are from. It's got to be from that 30s to 40s era again. This one's got a cool shape to it as well. Oh, Frankfurt Distillery. Right there on the cap. Not too bad. A broken one. Wow, that really has some the carnival glass effect to it there. It has somewhat of a label on it here. That is bourbon. Certification 1933 to 34. right there on that label. So I was right on with that date range. Now the question is, I wonder what all this stuff's doing here. I think they had indoor plumbing by this point, so I don't know if this stuff was thrown down when they were building this, or constructing this cement pad, or tearing down a carriage shed. I know an old map did show a carriage shed in this area. Yeah, another golden wedding. These are awesome. There's all kinds of stuff down here. Another golden wedding. I should be happy just digging these all day. Look at this, cleaned out. Looks like a few more. At least these have labels. We have here liquor tax, state of Minnesota liquor tax, 7.5 cents. Sticker on the side of it there. Probably another whiskey or brandy bottle. And don't see a date code. Looks like another carnival glass piece. Might be another one underneath it too. What do we have here? Yeah, 1933 to 34. Golden wedding. And another. I honestly hope this pit is full of these things. It says this had no piers for 50 years along the base of it there. Huh. Maybe we'll get one with full labels. Another one of these, maybe it's old Quaker. That looks like the liquor flasks from this era were so cool. Half pint, looks like a Quaker on there. It's probably old Quaker rye. And what kind of date code we got here? 1936. This actually has some opaling from the ground on this one. And another. Paul Jones. Okay, mystery solved. Paul Jones liquor. Liquor tax stamp. 3 3/4 cents on it. So it was cool to find the intact labels. And another Paul Jones. A blend of straight whiskeys. Say Baltimore. It might be from Baltimore, Maryland. Threaded top. Plenty of tree roots. And another Paul Jones whiskey bottle. Ah, there we go. Big one. Big golden wedding. It's got a certification yet from 1933 to 34. This must have been an outhouse just on the edge of the shed. It looks like I'm finding some wood lining down here. And another one. Yeah, golden wedding. It says federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. That was put on bottles after Prohibition. Prohibition, I believe, was repealed in 1930. And another one. Some more flasks. Yeah, another stamp on the back. Wonder if the guy just bought these because he thought they were cool looking. Got screw tops. Not full of water. I'm worried about these breaking. And another one. What was this again? A golden wedding. It was like bourbon or something. Yeah, real nice carnival glass on it. It's really amazing. The guy must have bought a crate of this stuff. I think is that the Liberty Bell on the other side? That's got to be the Liberty Bell. Here's the haul. Found a couple more of those carnival glass whiskey bottles. Then the bottom, I concluded this was an outhouse pit used by the residents sometime in the 1930s. Got some amazing bottles here. These golden wedding whiskeys. I found out they're called marigold carnival glass. And also got those Paul Jones flasks there on bottom. All in all, I'm very happy with it. We'll get this filled back in.